What's good, everybody? What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Johnny Finesse. Welcome back to the channel. Today, they finally caught one more. The people that broke out of prison from Louisiana. They finally got one more, and there's one more out right now. We are watching Antoine Massey Captured, sent to Notorious Slave Plantation Prison. What the fuck? In Louisiana by 1090 Jake, man. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the sub button, man. We on the road to 1,300 subs, man. Fix the audio. Let's get into it. You got a Formula One hoodie on. It's crazy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake. When I'm
1090 Jake was good.
This video, we're gonna be speaking on the capture of Antoine Massey, one of Louisiana's most wanted men. May 16th, 2025. 10 inmates escaped a rotting jail in New Orleans, immediately gaining national attention. An intricate plan would begin with a maintenance worker at the Orleans Justice Center cutting off the water to the cell. The inmates would force open a faulty cell door after midnight, rip the toilet from the wall, escaping through the small hole left behind, but not before writing a note for the jail staff on the way out. One of the biggest jailbreaks in Louisiana history, committed by one of the deadliest groups. Back in April, 19-year-old Corey Boyd was with two friends who were pulling on car door handles.
Born in 2005, that's crazy, bro.
38-year-old Mr. Brandon Fees and his girlfriend observed them from their porch.
They running from the highway.
The suspects were approaching his car, so Fees went and confronted them. The veteran would be shot, stood over, and shot again in the head before being run over by the escape vehicle. 19-year-old Corey Boyd is accused of being the driver. 27-year-old Derrick Groves was arrested for attempted murder back in 2014.
1997.
Case. 4 years later, Derrick would spin again. It was 2008.
I heard that a dirty cop killed his grandmother and he spun back.
Mardi Gras, and a group of people were gathered in front of a house in the lower 9th Ward when two men ran up with AK-47 style rifles and opened fire. Jamal Robinson was shot in the arm and chest.
Damn.
While Byron Jackson was hit in the head. Both men died while three others who were shot luckily survived. One of the surviving victims would later testify against him for shooting him 6 times. Derrick would be found guilty of 2 murders and 2 attempted murders, while also pleading guilty to 2 additional murders, but a juror error would result in a mistrial. Derrick Groves has been connected to 4 violent killings, and he is the only remaining man out of 10.
The last man standing.
But the most famous of the group is none other than 32-year-old Antoine Massey. He escaped a juvenile facility, a neighboring adult jail, and twice cut off his ankle monitor before doing the race. Aside from having chest,
so he was outside.
On his face,
what's wrong with people, bro?
Received the most attention after he started to post to social media while on the run.
I'm one of the ones that was let out of the GC. What I want to talk about today is for this.
People really be self-incriminating themselves. It's sad, bro. You could have got out of there, baby.
I was in custody for almost 8 months. Alright, 6 months, something like that. So I'm asking for help from the world, from Meat Mills, Lil Wayne, Young Boy, Donald Trump. I'm asking for these people. I couldn't even get a lawyer. I couldn't even afford a lawyer to prove my innocence.
These posts would lead to a tip and a home being raided by SWAT, where officers were able to recover some of the clothing Antoine could be seen wearing in the video. Now, Antoine was asking for help from rappers,
like rappers.
President, but
how would I help you?
Charges would make anyone say fuck him.
Like what? Like why would I help somebody that's on the run? That would throw me in jail. Why would I do that?
I was in there for theft of a motor vehicle and domestic abuse involving strangulation. That's what I was in Orleans Parish for. Today, what I want to talk about is that I was on 2nd-degree kidnapping protective order, right?
With domestic abuse charges in one county, he was being held in New Orleans on another case of domestic abuse as well as car theft. But Antoine also had warrants out for second-degree rape, kidnapping, domestic violence, and violating a protective order.
Nah,
It would
GG's.
seem Antoine has a history of crimes against women, which would categorize him in jail as a no-good piece of shit. Another tip would reach New Orleans police, and 4.5 hours later, Antoine was taken into custody in Holly Grove, the very neighborhood Lil Wayne grew up in. Officers would take pictures with the captured suspect before rebooking him into the same jail.
Niggas did off guards. Niggas did off guards. That's crazy. They did off guards. That's crazy, bro.
He escaped.
They did off guards,
They
bro.
weren't taking any chances.
That's insane.
Immediately after being rebooked, Antoine was placed in a helicopter and received a first-class
off
flight
guards,
to
bro.
Louisiana State Penitentiary. Angola, also known as the Alcatraz of the South, is a maximum security prison run like a slave plantation that's home to over 6,000 inmates. With 9 of the 10 escapees in custody, 13 additional people would be arrested for their assistance in the escape. The maintenance worker who cut off the water to the cell was arrested on suspicion, but he claimed inmates told him the cell was clogged, and if he didn't cut the water, he'd be stabbed. Others helped by either cash apping money, transporting them around the city, and giving them a place to stay. By far the deadliest amongst the 10 is Derrick Groves, and he is still on the run.
The smartest one.
In prison, it's hard to imagine he's still in Louisiana, as he faces the most severe punishment, but he's also the most dangerous. And if he's gotten his hands on a weapon,
It's over.
surrendering peacefully might not be an option he's willing to accept. We'll just have to wait and see how the manhunt plays out. Now this was wild to see this, mainly due to the fact that people started doing parlays on who's gonna be the last
Dead ass.
inmate on
And
the
mad
run.
people picked Derrick.
We can expect with today's technology that everybody gets caught, and very rarely there are some people that just disappear. And it would seem like, you know, the first thing everyone assumes, oh, he's gonna go to Mexico, he's gonna go to Mexico.
I don't think he
The
can.
border has so much heat right now.
I don't think
know
he
if
can.
That's the smartest thing you can do.
Yeah, it's not smart.
You might be better off just going to the swamps or going to the woods and just living off the land.
Off
if
the
you
grid.
happen to know how to do so. And everyone that got captured pretty much got captured in New Orleans. Nobody really left the city.
Yeah, nobody.
You know what I mean? So it's
Nobody. Like,
Antoine Massey was doing videos in the city, and then as soon as he dropped it, boom, they raid that house because they know exactly where he's at. Because people are telling on him. They're
That
like,
ass.
we know where he is. He's over there. We don't want him free. He's over here beating females
that ass. And you get bread for snitching too?
up and this and that. Nah, get him. And then the other one, oh, he's killing everybody. Yeah, get him too. Like, the city doesn't want these people on the run. You know, so it's really on social media, you'll see people excited, right? Because everybody likes to act like they're against the system. And, oh, the inmates escaped and, you know, let them go, you know, run, run, run. And it's kind of like when you think of the escape from Alcatraz. You had inmates who made floaties out of whatever material they could find in the prison, escaped, and nobody knows if they made it or not because they had to go through shock-infested waters. But it's the thought that makes everyone excited. They've made movies, video games, all about that. And you know, it's kind of the same thing until common sense and maturity kicks in and you realize, well, wait, no, these people are pieces of shit. A 19-year-old who was trying to break into a car was with a group who ended up gunning down a veteran, running him over, and while they ran him over, they hit the girlfriend with the car too, and she bounced off the hood.
Damn.
Yeah, that's unacceptable. A veteran who fought for this country got stood over and shot in the head because he was trying to keep 3 teens from breaking into his vehicle. That's no bueno. Then, you know, you got another guy who runs up during Mardi Gras and opens fire on a crowd of people, hits 5 of them. You know, he's doing this with an AK, Draco or whatever he had, an AK-styled rifle, 7.62s flying through the air.
Shit.
He opens up on a crowd of people, hits 5 of them.
I've heard of that
2 of them
before.
die.
I heard that.
He's then connected to another 2 murders, and then he had an attempted murder from back in 2014.
Shit.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be
A
out
demon,
there.
a real demon.
He
He's a
seems
real
to have
demon.
an issue with not controlling himself, and he has a habit of killing people. We're good on that. We don't need that out here. You know, people want to enjoy Mardi Gras, not get shot at with rifle bullets. And then you have Antoine Massey, who even his own aunt made a video speaking on him.
Y'all making my nephew out to be a monster. He is not a monster. Is Antoine a problem child? Of course. Anybody who know us know that.
That's family though.
Has Antoine been a problem since they fucking won? Yes. But how did he get that way? Y'all know how he got that way. From watching his father get executed in front of him, but he's not the only one that it done affected. It affected his sister. It affected his mama. It affected all of his siblings. Do you understand what I'm saying? It affected all of them. But this is his story with it. His sister right now is locked up and incarcerated for allegedly helping him. Allegedly helping him. She ain't been right since she seen the murder of her father. This not his fault, y'all, and I'm not taking no sides. And I'm not trying to make excuses for him. But this not for him, y'all. Because trust me, he's scared right now. He's scared. He want to go home. Because he the type of nigga, he will make decisions and think afterwards. Because he not all there. Am I saying he don't know right from wrong? Yes, he know right from wrong. He grown. But the system raised him. He been in jail 14 years of his life. Come home, domestic violence, he back in there. All he wanted to do is see his mama who just come home. All he wanted to do is see his baby graduate. But we know that's not the way of going by doing. But in his mind it is. It's his mind he can't do 14 more years. And the crazy part about it is he was the one with the lesser charges.
So while there can be excitement from a jailbreak, the thing is this. I don't know what the punishment is in Louisiana. In Florida, if you escape, I'm pretty sure it's like a 5 years mandatory that you get hit with.
Damn.
You know, so unless you got mad time, it's not worth it. Some of the guys that were in Louisiana were facing gun charges, robbery charges, whatever. You had a couple of them that could get off with a 3, 4, 5 year sentence. So if you're just gonna get another 5 years slap on,
Yeah, that was just a waste.
you
Like,
might as well not even run because it was only 6 weeks Antoine got away. The other ones were getting caught immediately. It's not worth it. Stupid choice. And you know, as much as they want to blame the inmates, they need to blame whoever is in charge of that jail.
that ass. How you let all that
They
happen?
have a rotting facility where cells don't open correctly. It can be ripped open, you know. The jails that are the least taken care of with the worst conditions tend to have the most violence, the most access to weapons, because if you can rip toilets off the walls, you can turn that bitch into a goddamn whatever the fuck, you know. You might even be able to build a gun out of all that metal. But what I'm saying is this. That was one of the biggest wake-ups to New Orleans, and it made them look terrible.
It did.
And now they have to hunt everybody down, and they have to go crazy with the punishments to set an example for their failures. But what they also need to do is invest money into that facility, because you can't keep your city safe if you can't keep it contained.
That
as
ass.
far as Derrick Groves, there's been no word as to where he's at. I don't know.
It's gone.
He anywhere. We'll just have to wait and see how this case plays out. But drop y'all's thoughts and comments in the comments section. It's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all. Y'all rocking with me.
Word. But if you made it to the end of the video, make sure you hit that sub button, y'all. That's crazy. He's still out there. You think he's gonna get caught or not? Put in the comment section down below. If y'all still watching, I love y'all. See y'all next video.